opportunity to connect with people in your group and outside of your group. So what is crowdfunding? Crowdfunding is exactly what it sounds like. You have a whole lot of people that you ask a request from, and you raise funds to do the work that you're doing. So it essentially allows you to tap into a large number of people at one time. And Long Beach Gives runs kind of off that idea. So why do we do a giving day? A giving day really brings your entire community, which is your best asset, into one location at one time. So they not only support you, but they support each other, and they see how they don't feel like their $5 is doing just a little bit. They see that their $5 is joining 50,000 other people's $5, and it's doing a lot. So it brings your community together. Now, what is your community? We say your community is your best asset. Your community is your board. Never forget about them. They should be your first stop. Your current donors, the people who volunteer with you, your staff that work for you, the place where you get your coffee in the morning, your local restaurants, even the people you serve are part of your community, as well as your family, your friends, your entire email list. So really focus on what your community is and reach out and tell them, like, we appreciate you. This is what we're doing. Support us. And this gives you that platform to make that ask without feeling like you're the only one who's asking. You're in a group, all doing it together. Definitely seize the opportunity. It's a great opportunity to do online crowdfunding, to meet new donors. It gives you this platform where you can walk into your coffee shop
Good
and talk
morning.
about yourself without talking about yourself. You can say like, hey, are you familiar with Long Beach Gives? This is happening this week. Did you know my nonprofit is running at Long Beach Gives? This is what we do. So it gives you that door. It's essentially a platform for you to tell your story, both in person to the people you see every day and online. So definitely use it. The donors, they have fun too. It's hard to say, like, we're asking them for money, yes. But between the prizes and the excitement and feeling like you're a part of this bigger group, it is really fun. I was actually walking through Costco the other day with this shirt on, and someone stopped me in the refrigerator section and was like, do you work for Long Beach Gives? And I was like, I do. And like, we love this nonprofit over here. And it creates that connection between the nonprofits and the donors in the city. And they feel like they're all connected in one, which is the goal, because we actually are all connected in one. Um, so what's different about a giving day than just asking is that it's time-based. It's only 1 week out of the year. It gives you a lot of time to prep for it, as we'll go over, and then to have an organized plan during that week to bring in as much funds as you can and to do it with joy and excitement.
Carrie, sorry
Yes.
to interrupt you, but folks are asking how they can get a Long Beach Gives t-shirt.
So there's a couple different ways. Michelle, we do have an online store. Is that
We
still
do,
running?
but I think we are working on that now. And so we will have a way for you to get Long Beach gift shirts coming up. So we'll share that in the next.
We will,
Thank
yeah. That is a great question. They are very fun shirts. So, and we all need to get spotted in Costco. So yeah, so it is time-based. So it makes it so that it's not endless. It's not like you're gonna ask me every week for the next, 5 weeks. It's this 1 week, we're all doing this together. It also levels the playing field. No matter what size your organization is, whether you're Goodwill of Long Beach or your Climb Central Long Beach neighborhood group, you have the same amount of space to tell your story. It makes it all equal, and you bring in your supporters and they bring in their supporters. And we hope that they will see, like, hey, I support Goodwill Long Beach. Who else is working in 5th District? So it opens that opportunity. So why? Why should you run a Long Beach Gives? You already are, because you've signed up. That's why you're here. You're registered. But it really it's the intersection where the nonprofits, the donors, and the city all come together in one place. And support each other for the critical work that we do for our city. It is really a citywide effort. We work with all the city council members to spread out the word. We work with the mayor. We work with local businesses. It is a citywide effort. We also do a fair amount of marketing on our own side. So that's one of the things that we provide. And then you take that platform and share it with your people that love you. Um, so we ask donors every year, why did you choose to give to a nonprofit? Why did you choose the nonprofit you chose? And oftentimes it's a similar answer because I volunteer with them, because I have a connection with them, and that is great. But the one thing that I know, if you've been around, we've told you before, but for those of you who haven't, one of the number one things that people say is they asked me to donate. So if you don't ask, no one will donate. But if you ask, some of them will. So just keep that in mind. Like, it feels hard sometimes, but without asking, it's not going to work. But if you ask, if you put the ask out there and you share the stories and you tell what you're doing and you're passionate about it, because we know you all are. We're not in this because for the money, we're in this for the passion, right? And if you can share that with your donors and ask, that is how you are successful in a Long Beach Gives campaign. So let's go over the history. I know some of you have been around for all of it, but Long Beach Gives did start in 2019. It started with 93 nonprofits. The goal was to raise $250,000. And Julie and Michelle and Christina blew that out of the water. They ran an amazing group of nonprofits that raised triple what they were expecting. And it just took off from there. 2020 came along. COVID definitely did not hurt an online campaign. We're all stuck at home on our computers. It was a great way to connect. Um, and yes, our amazing steering committee and nonprofits. So yeah, in COVID, we went up to 150 nonprofits that raised almost $1.7 million. And we've just grown from there. Every year we have more and more nonprofits join Long Beach Gives, which is amazing because you're already doing work in the city. And we love to have anyone supporting our citizens in a Long Beach Gives campaign. And last year, and each year, for the most part, we have raised more money for the nonprofits. So let's talk about last year, 2025. We had our best year yet. We did not know going into 2025 what we were going to come out with. We had the wildfires to start the year. A lot of people felt tapped out. There was so much stuff happening in our world, but our supporters stepped up and the 290 nonprofits raised over $2.3 million to support the citizens of our city. We had over 7,000 individuals donate online and over 10,000 donations on the online side. So we had a very, very good year.
Carrie,
But
can I
yeah,
jump back 2 slides? I just wanted to make a note about the timeline of the campaign. One of the things I want to highlight, because I would love this to be a goal for this year, is the number of peer fundraisers. So that number of peer fundraisers in all of the campaign years has it slowly. We started out strong. We had 871 for 93 organizations, and then close to 1,000 for 200. And then it dwindled down a little bit, and we've been steady around 800. And so, what we would love, and the crowdfunding piece that Carrie talked about earlier, it's getting your peer fundraisers, your network, your people to then reach out to their network and their people and extend that reach of just spreading awareness about your mission and also helping to raise funds. And so if we can set a goal of having and exceeding that 1,000 peer fundraiser mark this year, that would be another achievement in the campaign to have the greatest number of individual peer fundraisers that are participating each year. So that's my challenge to everybody this year is really work on those peer fundraisers to amplify your campaigns and your message and really get your network and your community working for you.
yes. Thank you, Michelle. No, that is super important, and we are going to go over that in the future slides, but that is the secret sauce to running a successful campaign is to A, have peer fundraisers, and B, activate them. Get them out there, telling your story, sharing your word, and helping you raise funds for what you do. Thank you. So let's move forward. So as we were saying, over the last 7 years, over 450 organizations have participated at any given, and it's ranged each year. But those 450 organizations have raised $13.1 million for nonprofits in our city. So congratulations to all of you. That is all your hard work. And we have been honored to provide the platform from which it is done, but you guys have done an amazing job and we are not slowing down. This 8th year is going to be our best year yet. I'm our other goal, the other thing of 1,000 peer fundraisers and $2.5 million, I think is a very doable. So it's going to be our best year yet. Okay, so what are our goals for you when you're running your campaign? We have a few goals. One is to encourage more giving from your supporters that already love you. It motivates people, creates this philanthropic vibe in the city and amongst our supporters. So that is one goal. Our other goal is that you reach new donors, that you grab onto this opportunity, stand on this platform, and tell your story to new people. Tell your story to the person in the grocery store, to your coffee shop. Share it with your favorite restaurant owner. And just raise awareness for what you all are doing in the city and your mission critical work that is happening. We also really want it to be fun. We want you guys to have an enjoyable time. We want to bring all the nonprofits together, have them learning what everyone else is doing and how you can work together and what you can do with it, and to make it enjoyable and fun for the nonprofits, for the donors, for everyone involved. So those are really our goals going into this year. So now we're going to talk about timeline and key dates. So if you have a pen and paper, this is when you should pull it out, or if you have a calendar on your phone, the big day is September 24th. It starts at midnight, 12:01 a.m., and it goes through 11:59 on the 24th. That is when the majority of our marketing is going to go out online. That is when 90% of the prizes are going to be given out. That's when the excitement is going to happen. Prior to that, though, we do have early giving. Early giving is going to start September 17th at midnight, the morning of September 17th. And during this time, it's really a good opportunity to like ramp up. You've got your plan, you've got everything in order, and you start sending out the requests. The donate button is open. You don't have to say wait until next Thursday. You can say you can donate now and really get going. Make sure your peer fundraisers are activated and start seeing that money come in. We do offer also extended giving. So I know last year it got switched halfway through. This year, we are just setting it to 11:59 p.m. And we will go all the way through that Friday. Anything that comes in during that time will it is now extended giving. Thank you, Julie. Yeah, so anything that comes in will go toward your Long Beach Gives campaign. The donate button will stay on until 11:59 p.m. on Friday, September 25th. So you can tell your donors that will not change. If anyone asks me to change it, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. We're just going to set it so we don't have any confusion this year. So it'll be really, really good. So a little bit more about early giving. Make sure that you get that momentum going, that you're posting every day on Instagram, on Facebook, that you're sending those emails, that you're making those phone calls, that you're connecting with the people that support you. It also gives you a chance to kind of build the momentum so that when the actual giving day comes, you can be like, we've already raised $2,500. Our goal is 5,000. Let's get us there. There is a couple prizes that are awarded during early giving. So we kind of start that excitement where I said 90% of them will come on the giving day, but there will be a few that will go out during early giving, and we will be getting the whole prize list to you very soon. I would say by the end of June, we'll open up the prize page so you can see exactly when the prizes are set up and you can start planning, start telling your supporters, make sure you donate at this time. So we'll get that going for you guys early. The extended giving, like I said, a lot of people do have events on the Friday after Long Beach Gives. It has been common to get requests. Can we still put this to our Long Beach Gives campaign? Which is actually why we switched it last year from 10 a.m. to midnight, because people had events that night and they wanted it to be a part of this Long Beach Gives week. So we do allow that buffer all the way till midnight to 11:59 p.m. on the Friday. Anything that comes in will count towards your Long Beach Gives campaign. So. Okay, so your campaign strategies. This is probably one of our most important pages. And it always makes me think of the greatest basketball coach of all time and all of his sayings. What did he say? Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So, if you want a successful campaign, prepare. Prepare early. Plan. If you need help with how to prepare, how to plan, you can reach out to me. I can connect you to other nonprofits that already have a game plan on their schedule right now in May that they know exactly what they're going to do in September. So, I would love to help you as your director, as your campaign manager to prepare. And now is when you have the time to set up what you're going to send out via email, what you're going to send out via phone calls, what you're going to put on Instagram and Facebook. Have it ready to go and make the campaign easy on yourself. The second thing, and this goes along with preparing, is matching funds. For those of you who've been around, I'm sure you've heard of it. There's two different types of matching funds, just so for some clarity. There's a donation from a person where they say, if you raise $10,000, we will match $10,000, but you only get whatever you raise. Then there's a,
Carrie, I'm
yes,
sorry to interrupt you, but there is a question in the chat
yes.
about who the prizes are for. Jenny and I have given some answers, but I think you're the best person to answer that.
Who the price, oh, the price, like, I guess, would the person mind unmuting and
I
explaining what
can
the
answer
question is?
a little bit too. The prizes are for you, for the organization. So we have prizes that are set up throughout the campaign, and it can be something like during this hour, we'll pick 3 random donors, and those donors, whoever they donated to, that organization will get $100 gift or a $500 bonus gift to their campaign. So we have prizes like that that are based on donations given on the day of. And then we also have prizes for organizations such as the most individual donors, the most peer fundraisers, for new nonprofits, the most successful new nonprofit. So there are different ways to earn prizes. So we will be sharing what those are, but those prizes are dollars given to your campaign.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Um, yes, no, the prizes are for the nonprofits. So it'll be a $500 prize for, the person with the most peer fundraisers. Um, so yeah, and then we also do break the prizes out by size. So you're not competing with this giant org if you're a tiny org. If you are considered a small, a medium, or a large, there will be a prize for each bucket. So we do break it out by size also. Um, Okay, so back to matching funds, because this is super important. The type of matching funds that most of our orgs do is where it's actually a gift from an individual or a group, and they have the gift, the full $5,000, and then they use that as a matching fund. So they put that online as, hey, we have this $5,000 as a matching fund for every dollar raised to encourage giving. Where do you get these matching funds? There's a number of different places. You can ask your local businesses, would you be willing to match? You also, if you have a donor who every year they donate $1,000 to your organization, you can go to that donor and say, hey, would you mind if we use that $1,000 as a match for Long Beach Gifts? And it's no different to them. They're giving the same amount. So you have if you kind of have to think outside the box because you think like, where am I going to get this random money from random people? But you have money coming in already. And if you can use that, you can ask the person who's given it to you as a matching fund. It will boost up the amount you can raise on Long Beach Gives because people like to know their dollars going further. So just throwing that out there, it is real important. It is one of the secret sauces along with peer-to-peer fundraisers. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. We can walk through opportunities and places to set up a matching fund, how to put it into the system. And also just, you keep the money in your pocket. You do not give me your matching fund money. You keep it and we put it in the system that the matching fund exists. So
Carrie, sorry to interrupt you, but we do have another question about what is a peer fundraiser.
we will get to that. I
Awesome.
believe that will
Thank you.
be in the next slides. Yes. Thank you. So the next thing is your organization profile, which Sarah will be going over. It is the place where you're going to tell your best story. It is where you're going to share what you're doing in the city, who you're supporting, what these funds are going to, and do it well. Spend some time, put a lot of photos, put a lot of videos. It is your free platform to share your story. So yeah, and if you need any help and support, again, we can help you with that. Mighty Cause will also help you. But that is a key part to running a good campaign, is just making sure that your profile shares your passion, it shares your energy. It really tells the story of what you're doing. Um, then donor levels, to do or not to do, that you can have different donor levels if you want. We can talk about that more if you want to break that down. Going to peer fundraisers, which is the secret sauce. It is the most important thing you can do. Who can run a peer fundraiser for you? Just throwing some thoughts out here and now. Everyone has a board. That's a good starting point. Every board member can run a peer fundraiser. Everyone has volunteers. That's also a good starting point. You have family, supporters, friends. It's just your opportunity to spread your word that much further. And then early giving. Just be prepared ahead of time. Be ready to make that ask early in the week. Give people time to go online, to find your site, to read your stories. They don't have to rush. 7 days to do it. So those are your key campaign strategies. Any questions with those, I will definitely sit down and walk you through it, because we want you guys to be successful. We want this to be really beneficial to your organization, really beneficial to the people you serve, and beneficial to our city. So the other thing that we highly, highly advise, I think one year we even said we required, is that every campaign have a champion. So a champion is this point person who you give them the time and the space and what they need to run a good campaign. They're the ones that recruit your peer fundraisers. They're the ones that show up to the trainings. They can call me if they need help learning how to set up a peer fundraising page, and I will walk them through it, and then they can walk all your peer fundraisers through it. They oversee your marketing activities, but you need to have that one person that is your point person for the Long Beach Gives campaign, and they really, it, sh it can be whomever you would like. It probably shouldn't be the newest person on your team. It should be someone that can make decisions, someone that knows your organization well. It doesn't have to be the executive director, but someone that can really tell your story, tell it with passion, and make decisions on the fly as things come up. Um, so yeah, so make sure also with your champion, once they are selected, make sure you go on your page and that you have updated their name and their email in your admin. Because when I go to send emails to everyone who's running a campaign, that's where I'm going to pull your email from. So if your champion has not put their email in your admin on your page, they're not going to end up in the email list. So, and if you have issues with that, again, it is something I can do from the back end. Feel free to reach out or I can walk you through it. But yeah, just make sure you have a champion. There's someone that's picked well, and there's someone that has updated all their information. So what is the difference between crowdfunding and peer-to-peer fundraising? And really the difference is scope. So crowdfunding, you have a group of people, they all come and see what you're doing, they love you, they support you, they donate to you. Peer-to-peer fundraising takes that group of people and they makes them your mini fundraisers. So they are now telling your story to people who maybe haven't heard of you, don't know what you do, but also appreciate the services you provide for the city. So it broadens the scope of people that can see what you're doing, that can interact with you, that can support you either financially through fundraising, or maybe your future volunteers, maybe your future board members. So it just really broadens your scope of touch through this fundraising effort. Um, Also, we are going to be sending out these slides with the recording, and you'll see that there's a link to a peer-to-peer training video. So when you do get the slides, you can click on the link. It'll take you to a training video that Michelle did, and it'll teach you how to make a peer-to-peer page. What is the benefits of it? So make sure if you have any questions, watch that. We have video sources for you. We did go over what a matching gift is. It is super important. If you have a donation that comes in every year, ask them, can I use this as a match? Try it out. And I will walk you through how to put it in the system and see what kind of success it brings you. So,
Great quick question. Will the slide deck be given to the attendees?
yes. So when I
Great.
send out the recording, it'll be sent out to everyone. The
Thank
attendees,
you.
the non-attendees. When I send out the recording, the slide deck will be attached. So, yes, 84% of donors say that they're more likely to donate if a match is offered. So that is the number you need to remember. Like, people want to know that one, that they're doing a good deed, that they are helping people that need help, but that their dollars aren't alone, that their dollars are magnified. So matches really do work. And if any of you listen to NPR, you hear it constantly. This is matched by this person because it works. So now let's go over the campaign guide. Jenny, I saw that you were on now. If you don't mind, go ahead
Just
and
put
put
it
the
in there,
campaign.
Carrie. Just put it in the chat for you.
Perfect. Campaign guide is in the chat. So if you want to download it from there, you can grab it and download it. It'll also be on the email that goes out when I send out the recording. But the campaign guide is essentially your holy grail to running your Long Beach Gives campaign. Pardon me. So inside the campaign guide, you're going to have your timeline. You're going to have a list of resources. If you ever wonder what your champion should be doing, there's the role of the champion in there. It gives you a sample timeline of what you should set up for your campaign. There's also a marketing campaign calendar. And then it follows up with you like what you should do after the campaign, making sure you're thanking your donors. And then there's a glossary for any words that may not be understood from the campaign. So just some examples of what is in the campaign guide. There is a checklist. So you make sure that you are doing what you need to do in June. The preparing early because you're preparing to succeed. What you need to be doing in July. You will have a link to the marketing calendar. So let me explain a little bit about what the marketing calendar is. It is essentially a calendar that I create on Google Calendar, and it will have every event listed in the calendar coming up. So every training, and it will also 2 days before have a reminder. So you'll get a reminder in your calendar that says, hey, in 2 days, there's a Long Beach Gives training. When you download it, you just add it to your Google Calendar and it'll auto-populate. So the day of the summit, it'll just pop up. Hey, the summit's today. You don't have to put anything in your calendar. 2 days before, you'll be reminded. I will be sending out the Google Calendar possibly with this recording or just after, maybe next week. It is just about done right now, but download it, add it to your calendar. It is super easy to use. It just auto populates. And that way you'll never forget when there's a training, you never forget when there's any events, and it gives you reminders of when to post on Instagram and Facebook, that we're a month out, that we're a week out. You don't have to remember that because the calendar will remind you. So that will be in your guide. Oh, the marketing campaign calendar, as we talked about. And then the sample timeline. Let's see. There's also campaign resources.
Carrie, will the Microsoft calendar, will the tools you're talking about, will the calendar, will they work with Teams? Somebody is asking that.
It is a Google Calendar.
It's a Google Calendar, so
it's made on Google. So that is something I will follow up on.
I'll take a note.
Yes. And yes, it will save you from having to make your own marketing calendar. Thank you. So this is something that we have a campaign resources page that we've had for years. We have training videos on how to run a campaign via Instagram and Facebook. We have training videos on how to run a successful campaign. We have training videos on how to make a peer-to-peer fundraiser. It's severely underused. I was actually going through the numbers this year just to see like how many people have actually watched these videos and they're fantastic. They have amazing information. And when I send out the weekly email as we get closer to the drumbeat of the campaign through July and August and the beginning of September, every week I attach a video and they're 15 minutes long at most. And I say, hey, watch this to learn a thing. So it'll be coming to you that way. It's also available all the time on our training list. And go on and watch them. If you have questions, you'll be surprised at how many of your questions will be answered by the videos that are in the training campaign. So the campaign guide will also have a link to all the videos. So when you do have time, go on and watch them. Like I said, I will send them out one at a time throughout the campaign, depending on what is important at that time, whether it be getting your matches or setting up your peer-to-peers. I'll be sending you the videos via email, but they're there all the time. So use them, watch them. We make a lot of digital assets, which I know most of you do use, and I'm so thankful for. We have logos, we have images. It is all being prepared right now. That will all be sent out to you in June, so you can start like putting your pictures with the Long Beach Gives 2026 logos. So that is coming up. We do have posters and postcards. As you can see, this is the new theme for this year. I hope you all like mosaics. The posters and postcards will be available at the summit. We will also be bringing table tents at the summit. And my goal when we leave the summit is that all of you, because that is when we get all 300 people, nonprofits in one room, that all of you leave with posters, postcards, table tents, yard signs, everything you need, and that you use them, that you get them out there. It is the marketing that we provide, and then you have that to tell your story, to start it without saying, let's talk about me. Hey, let's talk about us. Let's talk about our whole community. And I'm a part of it. And this is what I do. So those will be available at the summit. So let's talk about your Long Beach Gives page. And this is where I'm going to hand it over to Sarah Wink from Mighty Cause. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Sarah is going to share hers. Sarah,
Yes. Yep. Let me grab and slideshow. Okay, great. Well, thank you, Carrie, and thank you everyone for having me. I'm so excited to show you through the platform. I am from Mighty Cause, and we are the platform provider for the Long Beach Gives Giving Day. So a little bit of background about Mighty Cause before we get into kind of the demo of your page and where you can find things, how you can log in. Mighty Cause, like I said, is the platform provider. So we do the technology for you all. So we are, very much in the background, but we, host the pages. You're going to be, using Mighty Cause technology for the Giving Day. But we've been around since 2006. So some of you, might use us year round for your fundraising needs, even outside the Giving Day. So maybe you're familiar in that kind of regard. But we support just a ton of nonprofits, a bunch of community-led giving days, and we're very excited to be a part of the event once again. So getting started, first things that you'll want to do is, of course, access your organization page. So you're always going to log in through longbeachgives.org. So even though you might see, the word Mighty Cause thrown around in some emails, kind of, support and things like that, while mightycause.com exists, you are always going to log in through longbeachgives.org to access your org page. So when you go to the sites, if you are brand new, maybe this is your first time working on the campaign, or you've replaced someone in the past who used to work on the campaign, you'll want to become an admin of the page. And typically that's pretty seamless. If you've already registered, you're most likely already an admin of your org page. But you'll log in. You can use Apple login, Gmail, kind of your Google account to log in, or just log in via your email. And when you are logged in, you'll be able to see your organization name that you're an approved admin of under your name in the top right. If you're, brand new and you're looking to get added to a page, you can always reach out to the Mighty Cause team directly. The easiest and quickest thing to do is that if you already have a teammate who is on, your org page as an admin, you can just ask them to add you. And then you can bypass the whole approval process that Mighty Cause, does to verify admin requests. Because of the sensitive kind of donor data that's available on the platform, you'll just want to make sure you're an approved admin. So once you're logged in, you'll be able to access your org page, like I said, by clicking your drop-down user menu. And then it will bring you to your dashboard. So your first thing you'll see is an overview screen. If there's any announcements from the Long Beach Gives team, those will be popped up as a sidebar on the right. You'll be able to see your registration status. So if you're curious, if you want to make sure you're registered, you'll be able to see that you're registered. There's also a to-do list with different items for you to complete, which is also part of the registration approval kind of process. So most likely you have already completed all of those, but you can take a look at that as well. Alrighty, so we're gonna talk through kind of some different steps for you as you work through kind of page setup for the event. So first, Carrie already touched on this, but your organization page is going to be one of the most important kind of landing pages for the event. This is where you get to tell your story. This is where you get to add images. You get to talk about your goals, anything you're specifically, fundraising for. So you'll want to definitely take a lot of time to review that. If you've been a previous participant, make sure any dates are updated to this year. If you have a new logo or you want to replace your banner image with something, for this year's theme on Mosaic, you totally can do that. That would be really great. But this is where you can do all that. You can also update your brand color. So if you have, a specific color that you want reflected on your page that kind of ties into your, normal branding off the platform, you can totally do that. Your about section is where you're going to really start to fill out that content. So kind of some key tips here is to keep it short and sweet, but make it very effective. So people's attention spans, we all have shorter attention spans, and so you want to capture them with really strong content. So images, videos, things like that, different, text weights like bolded text and things like that really help catch people's eye while they're reading about what you're doing, why you're fundraising, learning about your projects. We also have a custom tab that you can add additional content to. This is where you can add testimonials, for instance. You can get some quotes. You can get board members maybe to give you a quote. So really take the time to kind of fill out this page. Your URL, you'll see at the top, is the actual page link that you'll share with your donors in your community. So you'll see longbeachgives.org and then your organization, and then this little tag here, which is customizable. Next step after you have, fully taken the time to fill out your org page, you're going to want to customize your checkout experience so that it, nicely partners with your org page and the messaging you have there, which is kind of what Carrie was touching on about the donor kind of levels and suggested donations that donors can give at. So your donation form, you can customize these little buttons that donors can select the gift amounts for. And this just kind of connects with telling your story. So it's another opportunity for your organization to tell a donor, roughly what it takes to do the work that you are doing at your organization. How much roughly does it cost to buy a bag of dog food or, things like that, to kind of give the donor a sense of like, that is very interesting to me. I might have thought to give it 25, but 50 sounds like something that is very inspiring. So taking this as an opportunity to kind of create different levels to give a better sense of the work that you're doing. So we always recommend between 4 to 6 options. Anything more than kind of 6 buttons is overwhelming to a donor, and they don't know what to pick. So keeping it to 4 to 6 is a sweet spot. And then also just making sure you have, a good variety. So we don't only want to ask for $1,000 gifts or $100 gifts. We also want to ask, for gifts of, 25 or, to kind of meet donors where they're at. But this is also your opportunity to add any custom questions. Maybe you need to collect phone numbers or something that is not otherwise automatically collected during the checkout. So you can add a question there. And then you can also just, in general, preview. So this is a good opportunity to, look at it. Does it make sense? And then copy that donate link. So your org page is going to be a link that you share directly with your community, your donors, your supporters, and then also the direct link to your donation form. So you can direct copy that as well. Next up is your thank you page and your receipt message. So online gifts are automatically going to be sent a tax-deductible receipt through the platform. So you do not need to send tax-deductible receipts for your online donors. But you do get an opportunity to add a thank you to that automatic receipt that goes out. So it's kind of that first opportunity to thank your donor within their tax-deductible receipt. So you can say something short and sweet, paste in some text. And then we have a thank you page that you can also customize. So this is fun. You can add photos, videos, text. This is your true first opportunity to thank a donor, because this is going to be the splash page that pops up on their screen as soon as they process and make their gift. So you can add also a call to action, so a button if you want them to, sign up for a newsletter, or, what's the next step you want that donor to take? Do you want them to visit your website? Do you want them to sign up for your MailChimp newsletter? That type of thing. So you've edited your org page, you've customized your checkout flow. You'll want to start to get familiar with your fundraising tools. We're not going to get too into this because we have another training that's going to focus more heavily on the fundraising tools available to your organization. But you can start to click around. We have great support articles on these if you want to get started now and just read through them all, familiarize yourself with them. Campaigns is going to be your peer-to-peer fundraising kind of dashboard, your hub for, helping people create pages, reviewing pages that have been set up. We have the matching grants tool, the dashboard there. Automated emails is going to be new for you all this year. So we're very excited to give the advanced features, which we'll cover in, an upcoming training. We have the text to give feature, opportunities where you can list calendar events, volunteer opportunities, and then also fundraiser templates. So you can create a templated peer-to-peer page, pre-fill some content there, so that when somebody does want to create a peer-to-peer page, they can use the template you've provided. Step 4 is to pull that donor data. So you have access to all your donor data in real time. Especially if you were a previous participant, you're going to want to start to pull the data, look at last year's data, pull those reports and start to kind of comb through. This is a great opportunity. You have plenty of time before the event to really start to segment out donors. So this is a really good strategy for you all to get ahead of. And that means, pulling the donor data and seeing who gives every year to, my organization, and can I uplift them into a different, relationship this year? Maybe that person would be a good ask for a matching grant. So starting to pull that data, looking through, who gives at, the under $25, dollar gift, or under 50 or under 100 or above 100, and how can you kind of create communications to get the best results from those groups of donors. So using the time now and the data you have is going to lead you to a lot of success for this year's campaign. But you'll be able to access that through the reports button, and you'll be able to look at your all donations and then your retention report from last year as well, for those who have previously participated. This is kind of a sample of what your donation report will look like. So you can access all of this in real time once giving starts for the event. You'll be able to filter that data from last year's event, or, however many years you've participated on the platform. But this is where you can see and pull, all that donor information. So the default time period will be 30 days. So you'll just want to add filters, add the, 2025 event, that type of thing. And then the last step is to review your page settings. So review those admins. Is anybody, this year no longer on your team. Perhaps you want to remove their access to your org page, so just do a little cleanup as far as what that looks like. So under your settings button, you'll have your general settings. This is where you can customize the ending of your org page. So kind of that, we call it a URN. That's that identifier. You don't need to change it every year. We recommend just leaving it alone if you have it already edited because it's timeless. This is where you can, also add alternate search names. So if donors are going to go to the Long Beach Gives site and they're going to, type in different search names that you might go by, you can add those as well to make the, experience easy for a donor to find you. Organization info is where you can edit your kind of legal name if you need to. This is kind of rare case, but we have a process for that on the platform. And then we also have a section where you can update your public address. This is information that's displayed at the very bottom of your organization page. So contact details, if a donor wants to get, in touch or has a question, you want to make sure your email is added, your phone number, your external website where they can learn more, get more information about you, that type of thing. And then your admin's dashboard. So like I said, best practice is to go through and just remove anybody who's no longer with your organization. Clean up whoever should or should not have access to this donor data on your org page. You can also approve anyone who might be impending. So if you're already an admin, you'll see right here, you would have access to click approve to somebody or decline their request if it was a mistake, for instance. Or you can click the plus sign and you can just add someone directly. We also have admin permission levels, so you can read through that. Maybe you have an admin, that needs specific types of access. They shouldn't see certain things or shouldn't access certain things. And so you can read about that specifically. And pick the best permission level for you. So those are my slides. Oops, I'm echoing. Okay. Questions on any of that? I know it's very high level kind of stuff.
Sarah, there are a couple questions in the chat here for Mighty Cause. Let me just see if I can back up and get to them for you. One was about retention data. Michelle from For the Child says, we get our retention data, but I have no way to know if it's good or not. It says we can compare to prior years. I think maybe she means we can't compare to prior years. Is that something you can address?
Perhaps. Good and bad retention, probably subjective. I'm gonna send you, Carrie, I'll send you a support article all about like retention that we have that you can share with everyone. But within your retention dashboard, you can filter by year. So you would have had to participate with a year both prior to be able to pull and compare retention data. So like for this year, if you participated in 2025, you would be able to filter that and then you would have stats. So potentially maybe we'd have to look further into like that specific case.
So if you want to send information over to Carrie, Michelle from For the Child, we can connect with Sarah about that. And then someone was asking peer-to-peer fundraisers, can they make them private? So if they want to share pictures of their children, that they can be able to do that without it like being a public thing.
That's a great question. Currently, we don't have that functionality. Yeah. So once they are published, the page would be public. Anyone would be able to find it.
Got it.
And there's a question about somebody having an organization being fiscally sponsored. The organization is located in Long Beach, but fiscal sponsor is in Santa Ana. In settings, do I put our Long Beach address?
Yes, so you have two addresses actually. One is going to be your legal address, and that's hidden on the back end. That would be like your fiscal sponsor's legal address. But then you have a public facing address as well, which is the one that you can choose what it reads. So I would, yes, recommend putting like your Long Beach address for the public display.
Thank you.
And then do you have an idea of what could be considered a good percentage retained? Is that something that you might know or sort of standard?
I mean, as close to 100 would be great. Yeah, ideally, you're getting really close to that number. So I would say anything upwards like 80% or more would be fantastic. If you have less than that, you'll want to look into, unsubscribe rates through your emails potentially, because maybe your messages just aren't getting to those individuals. Typically, donors who have given, they're the easiest ones. They want to give again. They've already bought into your mission. So anything less than that, I would be curious, like that you would want to kind of dig into a little bit.
Got it. And sorry, apparently, that was Michelle's question. Apologies, Michelle, that I didn't understand the
Okay,
context.
great.
Mary, I'm going to get to the financial stuff in just a little bit. So if you can hold your question about that, I will, if I don't answer it, feel free to kind of put it in again, but I will talk to you about money in a little bit. And then was there any other questions for Sarah? Sorry, Carrie, if you want to hop back in. I was
No,
just
you're good. You're
doing the
good.
Q&A. Okay.
Any questions for Sarah before we switch to the next topic? Going. Okay, I am going to share my screen again. And our next topic is everybody's favorite, and that is money. So, Jenny, this is where I'm going to hand it over to you, though I am doing the slides.
Okay, great.
So, I will put you on your first slide.
Sure. Okay, hello everybody. Sorry I was late. I am the Director of Operations and Administration here at the Nonprofit Partnership. So I am the one that will disperse all of your funds along with Carrie's partnership at the end of the campaign. So online donations are processed through longbeachgives.org through the Mighty Cause platform. And then you will get the donor's email, address, the total amount given, and then they get a receipt from Mighty Cause directly as their tax receipt. So you do not have to send the tax receipt, but you should send them a thank you when you get your, as you're going through that day, making a list of who to thank. But I'm sure you all know that as fundraising people with nonprofits, but they will get the tax letter. You don't have to provide the tax part. That's already taken care of. And then you will receive your donations. It says within 6 to 8 weeks. We have until like November 1. So we'll get it to you as soon as we can, but just remember we have to, over 300 people that we have to go through and make sure that we are checking all of the financials and not missing anyone or making any mistakes. So we really appreciate your understanding that it does take us a little while to get that to you. We will get it to you as soon as we possibly can by that November 1 date. And then donors can give without creating an account. Occasionally we'll have some people that have a little bit of, issues with logging in and things like that. They don't have to create an account in order to do it. And then the security is PCI level 1 secure transaction. Sarah, I don't know if you want to define what that means exactly for everybody, but it's just the normal level of security that we do through Mighty Cause, and we use Braintree, which is out of PayPal, as ours. So there's that. Sarah, you can go to the next slide, I think. Yes, so platform fees. There's no cost, like upfront cost for you to participate. There is a 6.5% fee that we will take out before distributing your funds. Basically almost half of it is transaction fees and the other half is platform fees. And then Long Beach Gives is a 0.5% that we take to help run the program. And then your donors can cover fees. I was a donor to 4 organizations last year and I covered all their fees. So if I did a $25 donation, I covered those fees so that they get, the $25. Sometimes we've had confusion about the way that Mighty Cause lists your totals and the way that the funds come to you. So if you have questions, Carrie and I can answer those for you, but all your donations, whether you pick ACH or check, you will get a letter that says, this was how much money came in for you. These are your fees. Here's your prizes, your donor advised funds, anything else added to the end, and here's your total. But when you go into Mighty Cause, it looks a little bit different. And so sometimes we have had a little bit of confusion. We're happy to answer any of those questions about it. But it usually revolves around the 6.5%. So we're happy to answer those. And then offline donations are any donations that you receive as a nonprofit during the campaign week, including Friday after the give day, that are for your Long Beach Gives campaign. What you do is we will send a Google form, and it's very simple for you to fill out. We will, a team of us here at the office will be adding those as fast as we can to your totals. So that they are showing up on your end, And, we work into the night too on Thursday, the 24th, to try and get those, as updated as possible. And they don't count towards the competition prizes, but they do count towards the total amount of money brought in for Long Beach Gives, which, that $2.349 million that come in at the end. So it does go towards that. It's any of the events you have, leading up to it during the campaign week, and that Friday date. Then there was something else I wanted to cover about those, Carrie. What was it? So
the DOJ.
I do have a couple more other financial things that I wanted to cover. So I'm just looking at my phone because that's where my little list is.
And while she's looking at her phone real quick, Matt has a question about Mighty Cause in the chat.
Can you read it out loud for us?
Will Mighty Cause be showing the increased donation to cover fees on the giving page totals?
I don't think so.
I think
Carrie,
that's in relation, Carrie, for the donor, donor cover the fees option in checkout, which I believe last year was the first time you all did that.
So I think what they're asking is if the donor covers the fee, let's say it's a $25, will the total show the total grand total from Long Beach Gives on Mighty Cause? Will it show $25 donated, or will it show $26.75 donated?
So it always shows the donor's intended gift. So the gift itself. So that 25.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then I can't scroll back in this chat. So I'm going to cover a couple more financial things, and then Celissa, if you just want to make a list of things that you can ask me after I cover these things, because I might cover them in the questions, that would be helpful. So the way you can get your money from us, you have two options, and I will send an email to the person that you have listed as your financial contact for your Long Beach Gives portal. I will send you an email in August to relay these choices again. So the easiest one for us and for you is an ACH. I will send you a link. If you've gotten an ACH last year, you can just confirm it's the same 4 digits if your bank account hasn't changed, and I will let you know if I have a question. The other way is to upload a check. We have a secure Dropbox where you can only put in, and I can see, but nobody else can see what you put in, and you would have to upload either a voided check or a letter from your bank, not from your organization. It has to be on bank letterhead that says your account and routing information. Or I can provide you with a check. If you do not respond to my email, you're probably going to get a check because then I know that that's where I can send it to, and I don't want to, even if you did the ACH last year, if you don't confirm the information, I don't want to send it to a bank account. It's a lot harder to get back that way. So if you don't respond to my email or the financial contact, so make sure, again, like Sarah said, making sure your financial contact is updated, making sure that you're checking that your W-9 form is correct. There's a lot that are from 2021 when you started, and I did get a bunch of checks back this year that went out to the old addresses and not the new addresses. So please make sure that your financial contact, your legal address that you list on your campaign is correct, and that your W-9 matches it. And then I may reach out to you if I don't have a W-9 on file, or if I don't have a recent one, to make sure that we have all the correct information. And then, so if I send a check, then we'll just mail it to the organization and the location that's listed on your W-9 or as your legal address. And then if you're fiscally sponsored, I will send the check to your fiscal sponsor. So you will need to get it from them. I do also just want to remind everybody that we are a charity platform in the state of California. And so we are required to let you know that you have to be in good standing and current standing with the Attorney General's office in order for us to allow you to use the platform and in order for you to receive disbursement of the funds. So I encourage everybody to check now and make sure that you're in current standing. And then we will have to check again before the campaign week to make sure. We know it's frustrating. I used to work for an organization that sent a check that was $25 incorrect, and we had to wait 90 days to get approved again. I understand that's super frustrating, and we're working with Cal Nonprofits and with people that work in the California government to try and to make that process a lot faster, because 90 days is a very long time for nonprofits to have to wait to be able to get their funds. So we understand that's very frustrating. Carrie is always available for a phone call to talk to you about it, and we can guide you as best as we can. But please make sure you're checking that, because I really hate having to hold people's money while they get that all cleared. So it's just another important thing that I have to say, because we also have to be registered as a charity platform, so we have to follow those rules. I'm ready for questions, Celissa.
So Celissa just stepped out.
Oh, right. Okay, let me see if I can find. Sorry. Is it possible to adjust that to honor the full amount of the donor's donation? Oh, so you're just asking Matt more questions about the 100 versus covering the fees, like thanking them for the fees?
Yeah, just
I think it tells
because
you on when you pull the Excel sheet, Carrie, they would be able to see who paid for the fees, correct?
Yes, your
Yeah.
donor report should show that.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
'cause
you'll
I
be
can
able to
see it on
still
my end.
see it. It just won't be part of your total, because they're not making a donation to your organization, they're covering a fee. So that's why it's not
but
included like for their tax letter or anything like that, is because it's not a donation, it's covering a service.
it is a donation because they're increasing the amount of their donation to cover the fee. So that's the issue that we have, and it's not a Long Beach Gives one. It's a Mighty Cause issue in the way that they account for those funds. So on our page, if somebody donates $100 and doesn't cover the fee, our donation page doesn't reflect $93.50. So if somebody's donating $106.50 to cover the $6.50 so that we get the $100 net revenue from that, that $106.50 should be reflected on our giving page totals, because that is the donor's intent. They're making a decision to increase their donation by 6.5%. So that's the issue that we run into. And again, it's not a Long Beach Gives one, because the reporting side, you guys handle that really well. It's just that the Mighty Cause system is not reflecting accurate donation totals. So we get a lot of questions from our donors about why, the full donation that they're making is not being reflected.
Got it. Sarah, did you want to respond to that, or we can look as a team, TNP and Long Beach Gives and Mighty Cause can maybe have a conversation about that, but
Yeah, we can chat
any-
about it. So the platform itself, so the platform is, system wide. So this is how it functions on all giving event sites, the leaderboard kind of functionality as far as what's reflected, and org pages, but it always is going to honor what the donor has selected as their amount to give during the checkout process, as far as how much they want to give prior to fees being subtracted or added for what they're willing to cover. So if that donor wants to give you $100 and they do cover fees, that $100 is still their intended gift. So the platform, of course, there are going to be fees associated with that. I mean, we'll take the feedback and I'll let it, get passed along to our leadership team as far as what you all would love to see. But the receipting as well, I believe, also is going to, the fees that they do choose to cover are included in that tax deductible receipt that's automatically generated.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that part too.
The other question.
Yes, I see a lot of back and forth in the chat regarding that. So we will look into it. We are taking your feedback and we will look into it for that. Other than that, were there any other questions? Didn't see any. You're more than welcome to also email Carrie and she will forward any financial questions that she has. But please make sure that your information is updated and that and then I will send you an email in August about how to access your money.
Thank you, Jenny.
Back for you, Carrie.
Appreciate the information. And yes, please, please, right now in May, you can go on your longbeachgives.org site and make sure all your information is updated. So you don't have to think about it in September when you're in the throes of trying to raise money. Make sure that your champions information is updated, that your financial information is updated. make sure the right people are listed with access so you don't have an employee from 6 years ago who can go on and change things if you don't want them to. Now is your moment when you can go on. If you need help with that part, you can reach out to Mighty Cause, support at mightycause.com, or you can reach out to me. But now is a great time to really get everything updated. That's part of that preparing, and let's make this successful. So yeah, clean up your page, add things, change things, tell people what you did. Yeah, so thank you. I appreciate it. It'll be good to have that all organized. And then with the Department of Justice, realize we are 3 months out from Long Beach Gives right now. So if you don't have your DOJ access updated, you're 3 months away. You have the perfect amount of time to get that done. So just throwing that out there. Thank you, Jenny. Moving on to training and support. So first things first, again, if you have pen and paper, this is another time to write down dates and times. We are super excited for the 3rd year in a row. We are bringing back the Long Beach Gives Summit. It has been so much fun. I know last year, like the energy in the room, bringing everyone together. It is the one time that we all can be in one space learning about how to run a great Long Beach Gives campaign and supporting each other. So I hope all of you can come. It is July 23rd. It is from 9 to 1. Like last year, it will be at the Reef again. It's a beautiful location on the water. The sun will be shining. I hope you guys can all make it. Mark your calendars. Then the next thing, actually prior to the summit, Good Afternoon Long Beach. We are super honored that the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce has asked us to come back and speak at Good Afternoon Long Beach for, I don't know, now the 5th year in a row, maybe. And our goal here is to really talk to the businesses in our city and to tell them how they can support the nonprofits and what the nonprofits do that supports them and really create that connection, because for-profit and nonprofit corporations are essentially like sisters growing up in the same house with many of the same goals, and we just get there from different angles. So it's just an opportunity. If anyone is available, it is June 9th from 11 to 1 at Parker's Lighthouse. Please go on the Chamber of Long Beach website, register, come out, support me. I'll be there. Michelle will be there. Julie will probably be there. It's really fun. It's a nice lunch. We get to talk about how businesses and nonprofits can work together. So that is coming up next month. So, and then beyond those 2 things, we're going to talk about the different types of trainings we have. We do it in 3 different ways. We have live trainings, virtual trainings, and the recorded trainings that I already mentioned to you. Let's start with the recorded trainings because they are available to you year-round. They're available now. They'll be available. We no longer have a password on it, so you don't need to use a password. You can go on at any time. You can see these trainings. We have successful campaign fundraising with Julie Lacouture. It is broken down into, I think, 8 different 15-minute trainings, and it'll tell you right on there what the training's about. So you can pick the topic that's important to you or that you feel like you need a little boosting on. We have the social media marketing with Stephanie, and then I know a couple people asked in the chat already, but there is the power of peer-to-peer fundraising with Michelle that is on the website also. So as we are really activating that secret sauce and getting out there and talking about peer fundraisers and figuring out who our peer fundraisers are going to be and getting that preparation going, go ahead and go on the website and watch Michelle's video. It's very short, very informational. It'll help really get you started on that peer-to-peer fundraising. Now for our virtual trainings, we are going to have 2. The first one is actually your training with Mighty Cause with Sarah, and it's August 6th at 10 a.m. And I highly, highly recommend that everyone goes to it. This is where she's going to go through the nitty-gritty details of how to best use the Mighty Cause website, how to use those new resources, how to use the text to gives, the new options that we're going to be having this year. So that is August 6th. It is virtual, 10 a.m. The second virtual one is going to be September 3rd at 1 p.m. And that is when we're going to do our Jumpstart Your Campaign. This year, it's actually not going to be with Julie Lacouture, but we will have a great presenter and we will get those last minute, like, this is what you got to do to get going because it is around the corner. Our in-person trainings, there's 2 of them. So we're going to do one July 16th. This in-person training is very specifically for our newer orgs or orgs that have been around but really feel like they could be doing so much more with Long Beach Gives than they're already doing. So if you feel like you're in that position, you have a lot of opportunity, a lot of growth potential, but you just really haven't maximized on it, write down the date, July 16th. I will also just be reaching out in person to every org that is new, and telling them that I would really like them to come. This is where we're going to prep you and make sure that you are ready to really take in everything that we're going to do at the summit the next week and go from there. So we're kind of giving you a step up if you're a brand new org or you've never done a lot with your Long Beach Gives options. We'll get you prepared, and then at the summit is when we do the main training. The second in-person training is really going to be for our orgs that have been around for a long time. This is the August 20th at 10 a.m. Our orgs that are doing well, but the next step, like how do we get from that $5,000 org to that $10,000 org? Or in some of our cases, how do we get from that $40,000 org to that $80,000 org? Michelle, I'm looking at you. But yes, so that's going to be kind of our 201 training. And I will be sending out more information on that, but just mark your calendars depending on where you feel your organization falls, whether you want that like step up before the in-person training or you want, what is this next step? How do I move from a good place to an even better place? So those are our in-person. We do have working groups. Working groups are actually one of my favorite things. It's an opportunity. It's not a training. You're not going to sit down and be taught a new thing. It's an opportunity for you to come, bring your computer, bring your questions, bring your ideas, sit down with me, with usually a couple volunteers from the nonprofit partnership and other nonprofits that are running a Long Beach Gives, and actually work on your campaign and get your questions answered in person. The location of these working groups is TBD. I'm actually planning it right now, but they are going to be August 27th at 10 a.m. and September 10th at 1 p.m. So we're going to do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Mark your calendars. We would love to just have that time to sit down, discuss your plans, work on your web page, answer any questions that may come up. So, what are your key tasks as we come towards the end of this call? Couple things. Make sure you pick a champion. Pick a champion sooner rather than later. Again, earlier is always better. Once you have that champion picked, make sure their information is up to date online. Make sure that their email's in there, that their name is in there, that they are marked as the primary contact, so that when I go to send out information, I get it to the right person in your organization. We would really, really, really like everyone to complete their profile by May 29th. That is a Friday.
That is tomorrow.
If that is possible. Now, when I say complete your profile, what I mean is have your to-do list completed. It is not a complicated to-do list. I know Sarah showed you. It's up in the left-hand corner when you're on your profile page. It is green when it is done. It is red when it is not. If it's red, just click on it and it will tell you exactly what you have left to do. It's putting in your logo, putting in your back picture, telling your mission. It's not super complicated. We are going to be putting together like the final send out of everyone who's registered. We're going to do our press release come early June, and anyone who has their to-do list done will be listed in the press release. So that's my motivator. If you get your to-do list done, you will be in the press release. So,
Carrie, just a few questions that have been kind of coming up a couple of times. I know you briefly mentioned it. When will you have the marketing elements for people to use? When should they expect to get those, to be able to access those?
those will be available the first week in June.
Okay, so coming up next week, probably.
Yes.
Okay, and then trainings. so there's a 1 to 2 people can attend the summit per organization. Good Afternoon Long Beach is hosted by the chamber, so that event isn't hosted by us, but Carrie will be there, and there is a fee of $35 for chamber members, $45 for non-members, so you can buy as many tickets as you want for that. But the trainings themselves, is there a limit on the number of trainings? And then someone wanted to see, is one of those trainings going to be based on marketing?
That is a good question on the marketing. We are going to be doing a marketing training at the summit.
Okay.
As of right now, there's no limit. So the location that I'm working on holds up to 150 people. And usually we get far fewer than that for a training. So I'm very hesitant to put a limit on.
Also, if any nonprofits here have a lot of space and parking and things like that and would like to host one, Carrie's more than welcome to take that information from you. So if there's anyone that's thinking like, oh, that might be something that we could host for the group of people, up, like Carrie said, maybe up to 150 people, but probably closer to, what do you think, Carrie, like 50 to 80?
50 to 80 people, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, thank you, Jenny. That is a great thing to throw out there. I don't know if any of you guys know, but this summer, the nonprofit partnership, which is also Long Beach Gives, will not be located in this office while they're doing some construction. So I am actively looking for different places to do the trainings and do any in-person meetings. So if you have space, if you would like to have a Long Beach Gives training hosted in your space, I do need to hold like 50 to 80 people. It needs to have Wi-Fi, it needs to have parking. But I would love to work with the nonprofits in the city and see where we could kind of host up for our trainings in person.
And if you want to show off your space a little bit too.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So
Great.
Thank you, Jenny. Any other questions on that
I
front?
didn't see any sports basement. Yes, Liz, that is an option, but because it's a big wide space, it's kind of hard to like have conversations in there as like smaller working groups. But yes, and
the
yes, we
heat
have looked
can be
into
a process.
libraries too. Thank you. So yes, we were taking all those ideas. Thank you so much. Carrie is always available to answer questions and things like that. But I didn't see any other specific questions. Apologies if we missed anything. We do have some time for Q&A, right, Carrie? If anybody wants
Yes, we will.
to ask any, to
Absolutely.
unmute or put anything in the chat. Now we've got some time.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, thank you, Jenny. So just the last few tips, couple things. Start early, start earlier than you think. Figure out who your champion's going to be, update them. Secure a matching gift. Think about gifts you're already getting. Think about people that may love what you do but haven't supported you in the past. It is a little easier ask than just like, hey, can you give me $1,000? Hey, if we're fundraising for $1,000, would you be willing to double it? Plan early, promote early, and we're here to support you. It's going to be a great year. But the quicker you get on it, the easier your September will be and the more productive it will be. So with that, as Jenny mentioned, thank you guys. Thank you. Any questions? Anyone wants to unmute, they can. You want to write in the chat, they can. Any questions for this year?
Oh, yeah, you have some comments. Oh, just thank yous. And Carrie is also available if this is your first campaign, and you need a little bit more, one-on-one help. Carrie is always happy and willing. My desk is very close to Carrie, so I hear all of the lovely conversations that she's having with everybody. So she is happy to take your phone calls and your emails, or set up a time for you to like meet with her in person or on Teams and things like that. So feel free to reach out to her. She's a great resource. This is her second full campaign, 2.5 basically. So she's a very helpful resource and always so sunny in the office. She's our
Thanks.
very sunny friend in the office.
Any questions?
Yeah, I just put it in the chat, but it's getting drowned in thank yous. I was wondering, what are the specific tasks that must be completed by tomorrow to be part of the press release?
So Sarah would probably know offhand, but we can pull up your to-do list pretty easily and you'll see what you haven't done.
Yeah, I don't understand where that to-do list is. I don't get the computer speak. I asked the question earlier in the chat. I don't know what an IIRC is. I'm unfamiliar with all of this terminology.
Okay. Hey, you
Sorry
know
we
what?
missed your question, Angela. Thanks for hopping on so that we could answer it.
Thank you.
Yes. And if you shoot me an email, I will send you some screenshots that'll show you exactly where your to-do list is.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I'm going to put Carrie's email one more time in the thing. You can send it to the info, but you also can send it to Carrie. If I can spell while typing. Oops, I wrote Long Beach gives.org. So you also can send her an email directly, but there's her email one more time. I think, sorry, it's so hard to scroll through sometimes. I'm trying to, yes, so we will talk to you about that. We're working on the food for the summit